If you are part of any gaming community, there's a good chance there's a game in a series you like that is universally agreed to be terrible. For Grand Theft Auto fans, it's the 2021 remakes. For Postal fans, it's the third game. For Fallout fans, it depends on who you ask. But for Age of Mythology fans, that honor goes to the Tale of the Dragon expansion. If you're in the AOM community like me, you know just how hated it is. However, I only wanted to talk about one part of the expansion, the campaign. For any RTS game I've played, the campaigns have to be their most memorable aspect, and Age of Mythology's campaigns represent some of the best in the genre. Unfortunately, as you might have guessed by the thumbnail of this video, Tale of the Dragon isn't one of those examples. But before we get into the campaign itself, I should briefly explain what Age of Mythology is. Age of Mythology is a real-time strategy game which is a spin-off of Age of Empires. You start off with a base and the goal is to destroy the others. What sets AOM apart from AOE, however, is that instead of choosing a civilization, you choose a god based on different pantheons, giving you access to various powers and creatures. I'd do a video on it, but somebody else already made a very long video essay on it, which means I could just get back to the point. We started... Wait, is that... It is! Wow, we're off to a great start. We started in a peaceful village in China when... The water from the dam's reservoir begins cascading all over the village, destroying everything in sight. But that's not all. Meanwhile, mysterious creatures begin attacking the village peasants as they try to walk away. Even when a volcano erupts in a later scene, the villagers are still walking. You see that, kids? That's called acceptance. The Emperor eventually gets word of this and asks his generals, Zhao Long and his son Dan Zhu, to investigate the situation. And would you take a gander at this? Woo! I'm so pumped! I sure can't wait to complete this! Zhao Long then goes to the village with the dam, where he meets this guy, Shun. He's overseeing the dam's reconstruction, and it is our goal in this mission to help him. All I did was create a lot of village peasants.
Yes, I am pleasant.
To speed up the reconstruction process. However, the creatures from earlier are trying to stop you, and they are tough. If only there was a unit I could build that could deal with these pesky amphibians. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's right. You're gonna get what's coming to you. Oh, hey! Dam's built!
That ought to do it.
This thing is a war salamander from the underworld.
That must mean that yin and yang are no longer in balance.
Wow. Already we're jumping to conclusions. A peasant then suggests that our hero should go west to a man called Ji, which is what the next mission is about. But before we move on, I should tell you something. I have not completed this campaign until now, so most of the footage I took for this video documents my first experience for the most part. I don't know why I didn't finish. I guess I just didn't like the second mission? Speaking of... Ji's temple is guarded by a hostile base in the mountains. Why? I don't know, don't ask me. You start with a small party of troops, and the initial goal is to defeat various troops at different military buildings. When you kill a group of units, you are given access to the buildings and can create said units there. Once we're able to create peasants, we can now build up an army to destroy the fortress. As Shun hinted earlier, we will need siege weapons, which are created out of the castle. These fire lancers should do the trick. Not only are they strong against buildings, but they're also strong against archers. Neat! Right, now that I've built up a pretty sizable army, it's time to attack the fortress. While the initial defense isn't that bad, you also have to deal with the monks performing rituals at their temples. If they complete their rituals before you kill them, they will bring destruction to your army. There are 2 instances in which this happens, and as you can see by the footage, I clearly failed both. Regardless, I was able to create a new army and... oh. Anyway, regardless, I was able to create a new army and finally complete the mission.
Look, there, up in the sky. The temple. It has been completely destroyed.
Ah, that's torn it. Oh well, I bet G is doing fine and dandy. The next mission reveals that there were several more blasts other than the one that destroyed Ji's temple. However, there is a monk trying to perform rituals on the blast holes, and the goal of this mission is to stop him before he completes all 7 of them. This one is also easy. The best strategy for this mission is to build a strong enough army to destroy the units following the monk. The rituals don't do anything this time, so don't worry about them. There is also a jade mine which you can use to gather gold in case you run out. When you complete the mission, it's revealed who the monk is.
Oh, dear soldiers, please do not harm old Z here.
Yep, it's him! Apparently, he was forced to do rituals by Danju. Huh. Where have I heard that name before?
Isn't he like the son
I don't know. Maybe we'll find out later.
But Novaya.
It's also revealed that the holes were created by Dilong, the Earth Dragon, and when one performs rituals on the holes, Dilong will serve them. Xiaoling and Shun then decide to spare Ji, because they themselves need Dilong to serve them. The goal of this mission is to protect Ji from the forces of literally who as he performs the last ritual. However, even if an enemy unit gets just a bit too close to Ji, his concentration blanks out and is unable to complete the ritual, leading to a loss. That's okay, Ji. I can relate. Okay, let's just do this again. Oh, whoa, seriously? Okay, right. I just need to create more out of resources? Well, that's okay. I can just gather more. Nope! But wait, I only have a couple minutes left. I only need to hold on for just a little longer. Oh, that's a lot of units. Oh man, 20 seconds left. No, my units are dead. Oh god, don't let that cataphract get to.
My concentration has been disrupted.
No! I was so close!
Iron, he's here.
Wait, what? Did I win? Hey guys, look! I won! Now we can move on to the next mission! The actual cutscene has Dilong kill off the enemy forces.
It's destroying everything!
No shit, Norseman. That Titan sure is destroying every... Wait, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. Dilong then tells him where to find the underworld. So, off they go. Psych! Huh? What's going on?
Sir, we have urgent news. Please come quickly. Dansu has arrived, leading a force of over 200 men.
Oh! That's who Danju is.
Yeah, thought that's who he was too.
Oh, really? Then why didn't you tell me? Danju has sent an army to attack our heroes, and it's the goal of this mission to defeat it. That's it. That's all you ever do. You just kill a lot of troops, and Dilong can help you as well. Man, this mission sucks. Like, no, it really sucks. Like, this just seems like something I would have made as a kid using the scenario editor. It's just lazy. But that's really all this mission has for it. Next! The goal of this mission is to destroy 3 town centers controlled by different factions. However, only one faction attacks you at a time, so when you finish that one, another more advanced faction starts attacking, easily catching you off guard. Although I was struggling, I kinda liked this mission. It had a good progression despite the claustrophobic nature of the map. And speaking of claustrophobic, look at this! There's hardly any room on this perch. If I want to expand, I'll have to build outside, but those areas are more vulnerable to attacks. Regardless, I ended up getting the upper hand and destroyed the final town center.
The chaos cannot be stopped here, mortal. DU is affected just as much as Earth. You must travel to the northern swamps and summon Pangu.
Well, that was pointless. Now our heroes are in the east, where Ao Kuang's dragons have gone amok. It's our goal to put the dragons in their place. This mission is actually a lot easier than it seems. If you know what to do, of course. First, you defeat the dragon guarding this settlement and build a base there. But rather than continuing with clearing the coast, you can just cheese it by building up an economy and army. And when you've built up enough, go ahead and attack, and build up the bases to prepare for later. Once you build the third town center, you'll have to survive the waves of enemies coming to shore to attack them. That's weird. Where are they? Oh, black sails! We have black sails, Arcantos! They rarely ever attack, and if they do, they always attack by shore, not even by land. You know why I built these castles on the other side of my bases? Because I was anticipating an attack that never happens. When the time to survive reaches 0, you then have to take it to Ao Kuang himself. Oh, Ao Kuang!
Oh no!
I'm respecting your honor as the Dragon King, but asserting my authority as the player by coming in anyway! Once we barge through Ao Kuang's doors, Ao Kuang thanks our heroes for bringing his dragons to heal. When Zhao Long asks Ao Kuang where to find Pangu, Ao Kuang tells him to go south through the jungles.
Thank you, Ao Kuang.
So the boys end up getting lost in the jungle, even though Zhao Long loathed to admit.
What was that? I am the mighty Vermilion Bird. I have lost control of my brethren in this jungle. Free them, and I shall show you the way to Pangu.
Alright, sounds simple enough. The first thing you have to do is save some... wait, rocks? Must be a gift from the gods. So I just build up my troops to attack the... oh, what the fuck? This mission is brutal. So brutal, in fact, that all this footage you're seeing is from my second attempt. That's right, I tried it one time, got overwhelmed by the enemy, and decided, yeah, screw this, I'm starting over. Once I, eventually, through pain and struggle, freed the rocks on my second go, I then had to free the other Vermilion birds. When I got to one of the bird prisons, I just used a god power I forgot I had, and look! They're free! Then I used my rocks to carry my troops to the other end of the map, and bada bing, bada boom.
But I'm not done yet.
Now I have to destroy another stronghold. It shouldn't be too bad, though. I boarded everyone on the rocks and set them over there where they...
Watch out! Those beams of magic will kill our flying units instantly!
Huh. You don't say. Well, I'm sure my army can handle... Okay, you know what? I already made that joke, alright? I'm not doing it again. After finally beating the enemy, the Vermilion Bird tells him how to finally reach Pangu. Well, it's about time.
And when you get there, Zhao Long, I will be waiting with my army.
On this hill lies the Titan Gate you will need to build to summon Pangu. However, it is heavily guarded, and Danju's army is waiting to strike, which means you have to be quick and thoughtful. Thankfully, I had a plan. First, I built up my army, but not to go up the hill. You'd think so, but assuming that Danju might strike me, I decided to attack him instead. Yeah, nice try, what's your name? Speaking of which... where is he? Regardless, I then prepared for the long trek up the hill, but I didn't go through the main entrance. You see, when I heard Zhao Long say we need to reach the top of the hill ASAP, I immediately went looking for shortcuts. Thankfully, there's a shortcut right here!
I don't see it. Never mind.
And this shortcut leads us right to the top of the hill! Clearing all the enemies off the hill proved to be no easy task, but despite everything, I finally made it to the top. Hey, whoa, whoa, whoa! Alright, just a minor setback. No, whoa. Oh, that's where he went. Not so tough now, are you, buddy? Once I destroyed the buildings at the top of the hill, the Titan Gate became available, and I produced a good deal of peasants to work on it. Let's start clearing off the hill while we wait. Medusa? Frost Giants? Manticores? Good golly! It's a crossover episode! And they don't stop either! But soon, I got settled, which means it's finally time to build that Titan Gate! So, I did it all over again, this time making sure not to repeat my mistakes. When I finally finished the Titan Gate, Pangu was summoned, and thus, we get the final cutscene.
He is here!
It is I, Xiao Long. Pangu, we need you to restore the balance of yin and yang to this world.
It is done.
Balance has been restored. Order and chaos are once again separated. As for this man,
Excellent work, Zhao. As expected of my father's faithful general.
your actions have spoken more than your words ever could. Do not expect a favorable report when I return you to the Emperor.
What was that? Did you see that?
Yeah. What just happened?
I don't know. It all happened so fast. Well, that was something. It's alright. I mean, the general plot is, there's a lot of potential for a story involving a general trying to restore the natural balance of the world. It even takes place in the same universe as the other campaigns, which is kinda cool. I like that. However, Tale of the Dragon's story falls flat due to its flat characters! See what I did there? The heroes are boring and generic. Any being from Chinese mythology that's featured seems more like a stop in the journey rather than anything that's actually interesting. Like, in order to reach Pangu, they have to stop by X, then Y, then Durf. However, I have yet to talk about the worst character of them all, the villain. And I have choice words to say about him, so let's do that. Tale of the Dragon's villain often gets compared to Gargarensis, the villain from Fall of the Trident. However, I think that's an unfair comparison. Not only do they have different motives for being evil, but comparing him to Giga Chatsis seems wrong. I'd rather compare him to Jin Hai from the Asian Dynasty's China Act. From Age of Empires 3, if you didn't know. They're both evil Chinese aristocrats. Hey, wait a minute! Oh, but that's probably just a villain, right? Even though Jin Hai isn't that remarkable of a villain, he'd be shit tier on the villain tier list. Why Jin Hai at least works as a villain is that we actually get to see his whiny narcissistic tendencies unfold early on, foreshadowing his character to come.
Animals. These peasants should lick their fingers, for this will be their last taste of such riches.
To contrast, while it's stated in What's-His-Name's history section that he is spoiled and vicious, it's never alluded within the campaign itself. I mean, I guess they do show it with Xi's arc, but unless you were to look at his history page, this guy's character arc is just like, oh, he's evil now! Surprise! No build-up, no illusion. Like, I get that he's a twist villain. That's fine. But so is Jin Hai, as well as this guy. He's a good twist villain too. I'm not gonna tell you to watch my Lightning Thief video again. That joke was never funny. The reason why I didn't talk about the heroes as much is because I don't really have much to say about them. And that's the problem. These guys have so little personality other than the generic heroic type. I did mention earlier that they were similar to their counterparts in the Asian dynasties. However, I only know that because, like the villain, I was able to see that's the case in their history sections. Show me in the campaign why they're like this. Don't tell me in the history. Whatever. Let's just move on to voice acting. The voice acting in this campaign is pretty rough, as if it's the actor's first time recording. I mean, most of it is fine, but the rest is just... You know what? Just have a listen.
I count 7 in total. Wait, what is this monk up to?
So you are Ji. Fear not, we have been searching for you.
King Aokwang, what is happening here?
Oh man, that's not even the right line. Either the actor misspoke, or the devs forgot to proofread the text. I wanted to compare Tale of the Dragon to the Asian dynasties again. Notice how each character in China has a distinct voice that reflects their personality.
Not all of us were born into royalty, Admiral. I was raised one of these animals.
Huang is the calm and reasonable one.
Every time that boy opens his mouth, I want to fill it with my fist.
Lao Chen is the tough, no-nonsense one.
The men are tired, Admiral. They cannot work with broken backs.
They will work until the task is finished, broken backs or not.
And Jin Hai is the whiny entitled shithead. There! That was easy. Now let's try that with Tale of the Dragon.
General Zhao Long greets His Majesty.
I'm not too sure. Let's try the next one.
What would you have us do, Father? And you want us to look into it?
I don't know either. Next one, maybe?
Greetings, strangers. What is your business in this plagued land? I am Shun. I have been placed in charge of the dam construction.
I got nothing. They're all the same. Except Ji. He's pretty distinct.
Oh!
Yeah, you know what? I'll just finish here. I think I've said enough. Okay, so I didn't know about this until late into production, but as it turns out, this campaign is based on an already existing story from ancient China. Remember Danju and Shun? Well, turns out they're real figures from Chinese legend. I would have said this back when I talked about them, but oh well. Not that it matters, since said characters are put to waste in this campaign anyway. This campaign is just one aspect of Tale of the Dragon, however, and yet, it's also a pretty good way of showing just how broken it is. You only need to look at the glitchy finale to see this. I could go more in depth, but that would require me to talk about Tale of the Dragon as a whole, which isn't something I want to do. I think you know why. If you do want to learn more, go check out Nakamura RTS's video in the description. As a former dev, he pretty much goes over everything you need to know. I just want to forget about this expansion and move on. At least Retold looks good. Let's hope it is.